All right, so today we're not just talking about therapy in some abstract way. We're talking about building a practical set of skills for your mind. Think of it like this. We're opening up a mental toolkit specifically for something called brief cognitive behavioral therapy to see how we can all manage our minds a little more effectively.
You know that feeling, right? Where a single thought just pops into your head and boom, your whole mood shifts. You feel kind of stuck, maybe in a loop you can't get out of. Well, it turns out that's an incredibly common experience for, well, pretty much everyone. And that feeling, that's the exact starting point for the tools we're going to explore today.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll break down what brief CBT actually is. Then, we'll get into its core idea, this powerful link between thinking, feeling, and doing. After that, we'll look at two key tools in the kit, one for your thoughts and one for your actions. And we'll wrap up by seeing how all of this turns into habits that can last a lifetime.
All right, first things first. Let's get a really clear handle on what we're even talking about here. What exactly is brief CBT? Okay, let's pull out a few key words from this definition. First, time limited. That just means it's focused. It has a goal. It's not meant to go on forever. Then there's collaborative. This is huge. It means you're not just sitting back, you're an active partner in the process. But the real mission, the absolute core of it, is helping you understand that incredible connection between what you think, how you feel, and what you do. They're not separate things. They're all tied together.
Now, this is super important to get. Brief CBT is like a specialized tool in that toolkit we mentioned. It's fantastic, incredibly effective for things like anxiety, depression, or adjusting to a big life change. But it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. For more complex, really long-standing issues like certain personality disorders or active substance use, you'd probably need a different, maybe longer-term approach. It really is all about picking the right tool for the right job. Okay, so now we get to the engine room of CBT. This next idea, this is the foundation. It's what makes everything else we're going to talk about actually work. This diagram here really lays it all out for us. So look at the very center. You've got your core beliefs. These are the really deep down ideas you have about yourself and the world. Stuff like, I'm not good enough or I'm unlovable. Now, those core beliefs, they create our intermediate beliefs. Think of these as the if-then rules we operate by. Like, if I make a mistake, then it means I'm a failure. And it's those rules that end up triggering our automatic thoughts in everyday situations. And these automatic thoughts, these are what brief CBT really hones in on. The thing about them is they feel so real, so instant, that we almost never stop to question them. They're just there. It's that immediate voice in your head that reacts to something happening, and man, does it have a massive impact on how you feel. Let's make this super concrete with a couple of examples. Imagine a pilot who, because of a medical issue, can't fly anymore. That's the situation. The automatic thought that pops into their head is, I'm a failure, I'm a burden. And the feeling that follows? Intense worthlessness. Or think about going to a cousin's wedding. The automatic thought might be, I'm never going to get married, which leads straight to feeling sad and defeated. See the connection? The event itself isn't the direct cause of the feeling. It's that thought, that little sentence in between that's doing all the heavy lifting. Okay, so if these thoughts are so powerful and so, well, automatic, what do we do about them? How can we possibly work with them? Well, that brings us to the very first major tool in our CBT kit. And here is the absolute game-changing idea. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. I'll say that again. Just because you have a thought doesn't make it a fact. CBT has actually identified these common patterns of, let's call them faulty thinking. These mental shortcuts our brains take that are often inaccurate or unhelpful. And they have a name, cognitive distortions. So let's look at a few of the greatest hits, so to speak. You've got all or nothing thinking, where everything is either perfect or a total disaster, no gray area. Then there's magnification, where you turn a small negative into a catastrophe, like getting one small correction on a report and thinking, well, that's it, I'm getting fired. There's labeling. You make one mistake and you label your entire self. I'm such an idiot. And the mental filter. This is where you get 100 positive comments and one negative one. And which one do you obsess over? The negative one, of course. Ringing any bells? So the key here isn't to just ignore these thoughts. It's to challenge them systematically. Here's the 4-step process. Step 1, you have to identify the hot thought, the one that's really causing the distress. Step 2, you put on your detective hat. You literally examine the evidence. What facts actually support this thought, and what facts contradict it? Step 3, based on that evidence, you generate a more balanced, realistic alternative thought. And finally, step 4, you check back in. How do you feel now? What you'll usually find is that the power, the intensity of that negative emotion has dropped a lot.
But wait, CBT isn't just a head game. It's not all about thinking. The second major tool in our kit is all about what you do. It's a technique called behavioral activation. And honestly, the concept behind it is both simple and profound. Here it is. When we feel down or depressed, our natural tendency is to withdraw, to stop doing things. Behavioral activation completely flips that script. It operates on a simple principle. Your actions can change your mood, even if, and this is the important part, you don't feel like doing anything at first. And listen, we're not talking about needing to go climb Mount Everest here. The real power of this is how small and accessible the actions can be. We're talking about things as simple as taking a 5-minute walk just for fun, or maybe tackling one small part of that closet you've been avoiding, or just calling a family member. Each little action, whether it's for pleasure or for a sense of mastery, acts like a powerful antidepressant. It proves to your brain that you can still do things. Yeah, this quote really nails it. It's a direct cause and effect relationship. When you increase your activity, your mood improves. It's that simple. It breaks the downward spiral of depression and starts an upward spiral. You do a little something, you feel a little better, which gives you a tiny bit more energy to do the next thing. It builds on itself. Okay, so you've got these two amazing tools. You're learning to challenge your thoughts and to change your actions. Awesome. But what happens when the therapy's over? How do you make this stick? That's what we're covering in our final section. Because here's the real ultimate goal of Brief CBT. It's not just about fixing a problem right now, it's fundamentally educational. The whole point is to teach you how to become your own therapist. It's designed to empower you with a toolkit that you carry with you for the rest of your life, ready to pull out whenever you need it. And this is what that self-management looks like in practice. It's about planning ahead for bumps in the road. It's about getting really good at recognizing your own early warning signs of stress. It's about making a commitment to keep using the skills even when you're feeling good. And just as importantly, it's about knowing yourself well enough to recognize when, hey, maybe it's time to check in for a quick tune-up with a professional. And that's a sign of strength, not weakness. So to wrap it all up, we've basically put two powerful tools in our mental toolkit today, the skill of rewriting our thoughts and the skill of changing our actions. With that in mind, I want to leave you with a challenge. What's one automatic thought that's been bugging you lately? Just one. Could you maybe take that thought today, put it on trial, and just look at the evidence for and against it?